Hi there. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Bethany, and I'm a fifth year first grade teacher in California. I'm making this video for you because I've received a lot of questions on my Google site. Questions on how did I create it? How did I organize it? How do you get those buttons that you made on there? So I thought I could just break it down for you on some of the initial steps on getting started. The first thing I'm going to show you is the organization of my Google site. I'll actually walk you through it. So if you're just looking on tips on how to organize your own or seeing things you may want or not want to do, you can watch that. The second thing I'm going to show you is the basic setup. So inserting those pages, getting a theme going, how to do that. And finally, I'm going to show you how to add those buttons that I created on a site. You're welcome to use the buttons I created if you haven't seen those. It's a free resource for you. I'll link it at the bottom of this video. Feel free to follow along and I hope it helps. In this first part, I'm going to walk you through my Google site. Keep in mind there's so many different ways you can organize a Google site. I teach primary first grade, so I thought this would be age appropriate for first grade and families. You'll see that I have a header going just saying welcome. Add a little Bitmoji there myself. When you go down, this is where the two portals are. So I'll take you first to the student portal. And in the student portal, you can see I kind of made it cute, added my dog, things like that to welcome the students. I broke down things in steps. So first they'll check their schedule, and really that's what my students are following is that schedule. Then it links to any assignments they need to complete that day. And then there'll be the Zoom links here. So I plan on just having a button here where they can click it and it takes them right to the Zoom. I also linked my Bitmoji classroom here. This is just a photo of it, and when you click it, it goes to the published actual Bitmoji classroom that they can explore. I will also show you my schedule and how that's organized. So when the students click this, there's different days. Whenever students are looking for what they're doing, they're always going to look at this one document. But I did make it easier to navigate by adding different buttons. So they can look at their week at a glance. This is going to be, and this is not an actual schedule. As you can see, I was working on this today with my first grade team, just trying to see how we want to organize it. But anyways, this is just going to be a glance, like in general. But then each day is going to be more detailed on what we're doing. So that'll be linked here like this, but also these buttons, I went ahead and made them. So when you click it, it goes straight to that slide too. And again, I'm thinking making this sustainable, and I do not want to have to be updating a lot of things for this. And then I have the parent portal. I'll kind of walk through what I thought about with this. I still use Class Dojo, so I linked Class Dojo here. This is just going to take them to the website. I did an email, and that when they click that, it'll pop up to email me. And then we have some of our school-wide links there. So right now this is set up for kind of the first couple weeks of school. I have a presentation where families can click through and kind of get to know the teacher kind of thing. After that, I have some classroom info. This is just one slide, and different pages have been linked on here, like expectations, their curriculum, communication, school supplies. I also am going to have a link here that takes them to the entire presentation so they can flip through that on their own. What else? Important documents. So whatever you need families to have quick access to. For me, we teach sight words, so I'm thinking like sight word list, things like that. Not quite sure yet. And then website links. This is like a one like go-to spot for all the websites we're going to be using or recommended ones for more learning. Parent information form. So each year I send out a form where parents fill it out and return it to me on information about the child and the family. I'm sure you do the same thing. I just did this on Google Forms this year. So they're going to be clicking this and filling that all out. This is a great tool to do because when you do Google Forms, it organizes it in sheets for you. So I recommend that. And then after that, I have a virtual meet and greet sign up. I'm going to be scheduling one-on-one meetings with my students virtually. And I'm doing a Sign Up Genius for that. I'm going to be linking our calendar. So, there'll be Zoom links on there. I'll have kids' birthdays, when things are due, just that to organize this. The second thing I'm going to show you is how to do a basic setup for Google Sites. So you'll see how to create some pages and how to create a theme. I was able to get to this spot because I went into my Drive and I pressed the Create New, and I went down to Slides. So once you do that, you should be getting a blank generic site like you see right now. The first thing I always do is I go to Theme, and there's so many different themes. I do Impression, and then I change the font style to narrow. Now you see that line that goes underneath, it says your page title. You're going to be picking one theme color. So choose wisely. No. But yeah, you do want to pick a nice color that you think will go with what you're doing, because not only is it an underline under all the titles, but also any buttons you make that aren't the little pictures that you include will be that color too. So I like a nice blue. You also can look online for a hex code. I have been guilty of doing that in the past. There, that's a fine blue for this. The next thing you'll want to do is you're going to want to insert some pages. So you saw how I did mine. I liked organizing it by having a parent portal and a student portal. That way, as soon as you get to the site, parents have a spot to go and students have a spot to go. I just felt for first grade, that was more age appropriate for them, so they can navigate and maybe eventually get independent on that. So anyways, first thing you're going to do is create some pages. So since I know right away I want a student portal, I'm going to type that in here, press done. I'm going to add another parent portal. You can see right now that on the top navigation that it then created those links up there as well. That's fine if you want it there, but if you're thinking, I don't like that there, I just wanted the buttons to be on the bottom, because that's what I thought, you can come over here and press these three dots and hide from navigation. Now, when you have nothing up there, it won't have a home button. One of the things I'm adding up here is a calendar. So you can just add that like that, and then you'll see that's on here. If there's other pages you want to add, now's a good time to do it. If you don't know everything yet, because I know I certainly didn't, you can always go back and add more later. So keep that in mind. This is kind of the general setup. You might want to have a site name like our classroom kind of thing. Okay, there you go. Right, the third thing I'm going to show you now is how to add those cute buttons and the cute headers. I know you've seen them floating around. Some of you may have come here because you've seen the free one I put out. If not, I'm going to link it to this video. So if you want to use the ones that I'm showing you, go for it. I'm happy to share those. Now it's time to show you how to add the cute buttons and headers. I'm going to show you on the ones I provided for free. If you got that, you know it's in a Google slide. And I know some of you were asking, I'm not able to save it and upload it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to be bringing it and pasting it into, I'm using Microsoft PowerPoint. I'm sure you could probably paste it into Word or something like that, but it just needs to be in something that's separate from Google. If you like it as is, awesome. What you're going to do now is you're going to right click it and save as a picture, and you'll just put it on your desktop so you can upload it. Some of you are having different themes or looks that you want, colors. You could add a shape with a different color if you want to the back. One thing I really like, and you could probably kind of see a sneak peek, is these cute brick backgrounds and shiplap backgrounds like this. I already cropped it here, but what you would do is you would get an image. You can, I bought this one, and I'll link it if you like this exact one. I bought it on TPT, but you also can search You know, like I looked up like white brick background on Google or things like that, and you can find a lot of stuff. For this, what I would do is you'd want to make sure that it's cropped to the size you want, say if that's what you want. Okay, here's the important part. You're going to scan over it like this. You're going to copy it. This is the most important part. You're going to paste special, and you're going to want to paste as a picture. That way now it moves all around as one, and you're not going to get this where it separates. So you have this image, and you can save this picture. It's student portal button. Just like that. Now I'm going to go back, and I'm going to want to add the button now. So you can go right here to insert. Now you see all these layouts right here. These are great to do because they're already, everything's the right size that you might want. Since I know on the bottom I'm going to have student portal and then parent portal, I'm going to click right there to just add it like that. So I'm going to press add and upload. Go. Upload that. Now, if any of you are getting this and you're thinking, what the heck, the best way to fix this is just by pressing uncrop. And then you'll get your full image. And you're going to find that tool really useful this whole time that you're doing this, because when you add different stuff like headers, or if you make a cute line, something like that, you'll need it. I will do the same for the parent portal, but I want to show you the header really quick. So if this is your first time doing this, I'll tell you that once you press this preview, it's going to be changing. See how it's all big now? It'll change the size of what you're doing. Like, you can see what happens if you're on a phone, things like that. It changes the size of that header. But you see how my student portal is not getting messed up. It's still relatively the same. So I have a little trick for headers. I don't actually use a header for the beginning part. I'm going to delete this, and instead I'm just going to add an image placeholder. I'm going to want it up here at the top. Put it right there. Okay. So again, you're seeing like this totally messed up thing. Remember to uncrop it. Don't worry if it's small. You can drag it to be big. You could center it. And then again, you want to uncrop it. Ta-da! Now what will happen is when you go to preview it, since it's an image now, I feel like this is the best trick. Since it's an image now, it's not going to mess it up. So no matter where you're at, see, even on the phone, it shrinks down. It's just the best. One thing that I almost forgot to show you was, and probably the most important part, is when you have buttons that you're using, and I'm not going to add the parent one right now just for the sake of time, but when you have these buttons, you're going to want to link them. So I'm going to be linking this to my student portal, and you press apply. That way, when you click that, when the kids click it, it'll go right to that portal. All right, so that was just a real simple, basic walkthrough on the initial steps of creating a Google site. If right now you have more questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm happy to help with what I can. Again, I'm not any type of expert, but I am definitely a problem solver and eager to learn more about this. So feel free to ask me any questions. You can follow me on Instagram or message me on there, and that's probably the quickest and easiest way to get a hold of me.